Welcome, everybody, to the May launch event. My name is David Scholl. I'm the CEO and one of the co-founders here at Tern, and we have an incredible show lined up for you today. Thank you all for joining us. I promise this will not disappoint. We have a huge announcement that we could not be more excited to share with you to kick things off. And then we have a whole bunch of product launches, including a few big surprises that just launched, I don't know, about 50 minutes ago, that we'll be taking you through in detail today. These product updates are going to help you go from lead to booking faster than ever. It's going to help you make more stunning itineraries than you've ever been able to do before, faster than you ever have before. And of course, in the classic Tern style, we are going to do those live product demos that you love so much, actually taking you through the end-to-end flow in product. So like I said, it is going to be an incredible show. Everything that we're going to be talking about today is all focused on this idea of how technology can supercharge you. Whether you're an agency owner, whether you're an advisor, we fundamentally believe that for too long, technology has been seen almost as the enemy of the travel agency or the travel industry. You've had the OTAs back when kind of Web 1.0 was happening that were going to kill the travel advisor. You had mobile that was going to kill the travel advisor. Now you've got AI and people are like, is that going to kill the travel? We fundamentally believe that technology in the hands of travel advisors is the future of travel. And that's what today is about. It's about building and launching and sharing incredible tools and incredible product that help you sell more, that bring more income and prosperity to you and your family, that give you time back, all with technology in partnership with you. We believe technology plus humanity is the future of the travel industry. And that's what today is about. Now, this idea and this belief has been at the core of Tern since our founding. When Brian, Katie, and I first went to the ASTA conference in 2022, we spent that entire time talking with as many advisors, as many agency owners, as many people in this industry as we could. And what we heard over and over again was that there was this massive kind of inefficiency that existed in manual data entry and repeating the tasks and kind of clunky and antiquated systems that really held people back. And we've really come to call this kind of inefficiency invisible work. Invisible work is the work that you have to do, but that doesn't actually move your business forward, right? Every time you have to re-enter that same sales report, that's not helping you sell more. That's not helping you delight your clients. It is invisible work that is fundamentally holding your business back and is fundamentally, we believe, holding the industry back. And so we at Tern believe that invisible work must die for the travel industry to reach its full potential. It's a little bit extreme, but it's what we believe, and it's what we are waking up every single day to try and build for, to say, how can we make something that supercharges your business? And again, we've heard story after story after story of people dealing with this. I love this quote from Jennifer in the Tern Facebook group, talking about the before Tern times, saying, when I first became an advisor, I did what kind of everybody told me to, right? They said, okay, we got to go find your CRM. You got to go find your itinerary builder. Obviously, you should pick the two market leaders. But everybody had the same problem, is that these systems didn't talk to each other. There's no synergy. There's massive invisible work every step of the way. And so what I'm incredibly proud to share today is that Tern is the all-in-one system for travel advisors who are serious about building their travel business. Whether it's building stunning itineraries and proposals, or using the unrivaled CRM that seamlessly talks to those proposals that you just created, or managing group trips, whether that's destination weddings, multi-gen. We have thousands of group trips moving through the Tern platform with stunning landing pages. And of course, we're doing all of this with industry-leading compliance features that help you protect the business that you have worked so hard to build. Again, we think not a lot of systems take this seriously enough, and we are committed to building tools that help you protect that business that you have worked so hard to create. Now, we could talk about features all day. We will talk about features quite a bit today. But I think the stories of people that are actually using Tern really speak better than me listing off all the features that exist to power the advisor business. So I love this one from Cheryl saying, I was kind of actually pretty nervous to leap off this. I've been using my other system for a while, but wow, in just a month, Tern has changed my life, and my client feedback is nothing short of amazing. You've got Walter, we're Walter Travel, incredible partner of ours, who doubled his sales in 2024, saying, I couldn't have done it without Tern. And if you know Walter, we're not talking small numbers here. We're not saying like $1,000 to $2,000. We're talking millions of dollars in delta here. It's just incredible, the business that Walter has built. You've got Kim saying, I am a teacher and a mom to six. Kim, I hope you're watching. I'm tired just reading this sentence. So like props to you to say, let's actually add a travel business to that as well. But saying, Tern has let me send off quotes, manage full service itineraries, and utilize automated workflows in a way that makes me lay less stress. And Kim, if we can make you less stress, I count that as the win of the year for us. So glad to hear that. You've got Brandon saying it's cut custom trip time down by 50%. The impact of Tern's all-in-one system has been so cool. It's one of the most kind of humbling and exciting parts of our job is to see how this is helping real people build real businesses in a way that just wasn't possible before this kind of integrated approach. But one of the things that we think is really important is that if you just stopped there, you would not actually be able to solve this invisible work problem. And what do I mean by that? Well, we have this stunning graphic. For those of you that know our team, I'll just tell you right now, Brad did not design this. This was me. Everything else was Brad. This one was me. It's a beautiful triangle, and it's meant to sort of represent the layers that exist in the travel industry. Now, obviously, this is not a perfect diagram. There is so much more nuance and complexity than you could ever capture in a simple kind of triangle here. But this is where we think it's helpful to visualize the different parts of the ecosystem. You've got travelers. Travelers are working with advisors, and the intersection between those really matters. You as advisors really care about the experience that you're offering to your travelers. As an advisor, if you're part of an agency, the intersection between those really matters. How are you getting paid? How is that working? What's the reporting? How as an agency are you helping the advisor? And then, of course, if you're hosted or you're part of a consortium, there's yet another level. And we think that too many systems have actually taken the approach of like, okay, well, we'll build a CRM for travel advisors. We'll build an itinerary for travel advisors. We'll build a CRM for agencies, right? And they sort of kind of pick their lane. They focus on this. And the problem with that is even if you're really, really good at one level, so much of the invisible work that we believe must die in order for the industry to reach its full potential lives in these intersections. It's how does the advisor report their sales data to the agency? How does the agency get that information up to the consortia? How are you delivering an incredible traveler experience? And so we think that if you want this industry to reach its full potential, if you want your business to reach its full potential, this has to be one thing. You have to have one system that seamlessly integrates all of these layers, and this is what we're building at Tern. And we deeply believe that we can and are and have built the best platform out there for each of these layers. And it's in stark contrast to what you see a lot of other kind of tech players, even in the travel industry, even players that have been in the travel industry for a decade, who are even this week launching features that are designed to cut out elements of this layer. We believe that each one of these ecosystem players has value, and we're building for you. And the agency product is one of the biggest leaps forward in that we've had since we founded Tern. We started building this late last year, and it has been incredible to see how agencies are now transforming their business. They're reconciling commission faster than ever. They're giving their advisors a business in a box with forms, terms and conditions, workflows, email templates ready to go, which just makes onboarding so much faster. And of course, you've got our leading collaboration tools that lets you step in the event of an emergency to really provide support, all while giving your agents truly leading tools to surprise and delight their clients and eliminate that invisible work. And so this is incredible. Again, not going to talk about features when I can share stories. Again, we asked in our Facebook group, what are the things that you would share? And Mershawn kind of chimed in here. I love this. I'm so genuinely happy that I made the move to switch my entire agency over to Tern. The commitment to strengthen the product and continuing to get better is a core element for us. And Mershawn saying, making it an invaluable tool for any serious agent or agency. You've got Lauren from Modern Travel, who's going through an incredible growth period right now from 16 to 100 advisors saying, we wouldn't be able to do this without Tern. It's what gives us the confidence that the admin part is just taken care of. And we are on track to double our agency sales this year, and it wouldn't be possible without Tern. If you're an agency owner, this is the type of impact we want Tern to have for your business. And it's so rewarding and cool for us to see these come to life. You've got Jennifer saying that this is allowing us to work smarter, not harder, and allowing us to be this kind of all-in-one system. Love, Tern. We love you too, Jennifer. So again, we are building technology to supercharge you, to give you more sales, to help you drive more income and prosperity for you and your loved ones, to give you more time back to spend with your clients, or maybe just relax for the first time in, I don't know, 3 years. We believe that technology, when paired with you, can do this. And we are just getting started. This is something that we say a lot. We had this really cool kind of offsite where we sort of reflected on our values and our operating principles. And one of them is we have extraordinary ambition. This is something that I think is really special about Tern, is that we don't want to just be a slightly better itinerary builder, slightly better CRM. We want to fundamentally rethink the technology in this industry in a way that supercharges you, that gives you and agencies and everybody in the stack the ability to meet the potential that we think has been missed because of the inefficiencies of the systems in the platform. This is extraordinary ambition. This is what we are aiming for. And this takes a village. The Tern team has grown quite a bit. There's a lot of new faces on this slide, which I think is super special. But it is a lot of hard work. For those of you that are listening to Flight Path, our podcast, you see every week what we're doing and kind of the level of care and thought and detail that goes into every single feature that we ship. The engineers writing just incredible amounts of code to ship these features that matter, and really taking a step back to think about how does this actually work in a really seamless way. And so we just have, I think, that the best team out there. And this takes resources, right? This is something that is we're incredibly proud of. A lot of these folks left, kind of roles at leading technology companies because they believe in you, they believe in this industry. But it also is quite expensive to build this team and to maintain that. And so today, I'm really excited to share for the first time ever that Tern has raised a Series A funding, bringing the total amount raised to $17 million, allowing us to accelerate and continue to show up for this industry, to continue to build incredible products for each and every one of you. And I want to kind of linger on that word "you," because we have, this is not the first time that Tern has raised funding. We haven't talked about funding because we actually don't think it's what matters. What matters is, what does this allow us to do for each and every single one of you? And so that's what I want to talk about right now. Is this is not about us. This is about you and what it's going to let us do. So let's get into that. The first thing, we are doubling our R&D team. If you've been following Tern for a while, you know that we're moving quickly and innovating and defining the future of this industry in a way that no other system is. And we are incredibly proud to be able to use these resources to double the engineering team, to add more incredible designers and product leaders so that every day we can ship better products for advisors, for your clients, for agency owners, and for hosts, continuing to build for every layer of this industry in a way that nobody else is doing. This is what that funding will do. I know a lot of you care about mobile. We've seen some chatter in the Facebook group. That's an area we're going to be investing heavily in building out a dedicated kind of focus on mobile to continue to level that up. And so first thing we're doing is doubling the R&D team. We couldn't be more excited about that. But one thing you've heard us say, if you've been following Tern for a while, is that we really believe it's not enough to have great technology. You have to pair that technology with world-class support. And so I'm excited to say the other thing we're doing is we're doubling down on support in a really big way. We've already dropped our first response time by 300% over the past several weeks. I'm incredibly proud of the team for being able to do that, but we are not stopping there. We're hiring more people on the support team to get faster response times. We're doubling down on training, hiring a dedicated training role to make sure that however you learn best, Tern can meet you there and help you maximize the technology in your business. And one thing that we're working really hard towards is launching weekend support by, call it late summer, early fall. We're staffing and training for this. We know that your clients don't stop traveling because it's a Saturday. You don't stop working because it's a Sunday. And so we will be there to support you every day of the week later this year. Could not be more excited to pair the world-class innovation that our R&D team is doing with world-class support and success. So again, this is some of the kind of long-term structural things. It'll take us a little while to hire and train and ramp this team, but this will really impact the way that Tern can build for you. We're also doing some really tactical things. First of all, we're doubling our referral bonuses forever. So it used to be if you referred somebody to Tern as a current user, you'd get a $10 credit, they get a $10 credit. Everybody's getting $20 now. So again, just giving back to the community, making sure that we're kind of recognizing the reason that we're here, which is all of you. The second thing that we're doing, or second thing I want to talk about, is this users conference. Some of you may have been kind of following this. I will probably attend something like 20 conferences this year personally, starting with Path and ASTA next week, or not starting, continuing with Path and ASTA next week. And one of the things that, as we've attended all these events, we were really struck by is that most of them have really great speakers and really great kind of theory, but they struggle to connect that with implementation because people are using all these different tools and systems. And so we said, well, how might we actually bring the best education, the best people in our network on particular topics, whether it's groups or social media, workflows, automations, AI, and then have them do a session that's paired with here's how to implement it in your business in Tern. And so this is where the users conference was born. 20 hours of education, 10 hours of networking, deep dive one-on-ones with the Tern team. And before this announcement, we had to cover all the costs. We had to fly the speakers and we had to cover all of that. And so we priced this a little higher than we were hoping to, candidly, at $4,500. We are thrilled to share that with this, we're going to be discounting the price down $600. So it's $3,899, less than $2,000 per person, and a double occupancy cabin, so that you don't have to be held back on moving your business forward because of cost. So super excited, again, to use these resources to give back to you. Okay, so that's the big announcement. We are excited to have some special guests here. We really believe that travel is about people, and I'm so thrilled to introduce you to ours. I know venture is kind of this unknown in the travel industry, and it can be kind of confusing, like, what does this actually mean? And so rather than me just talk at you for 20 minutes, I'm thrilled to introduce you to Drew and Ryan at Viewpoint. Drew, Ryan, welcome to your first ever Tern webinar. We couldn't be more excited to have you here.
It is so exciting. Thank you.
Great to see everyone.
It's I like can't even look at the chat. I saw it like within seconds. It was like over 100. I was like, all right, well, I gotta not focus on that. But I'm sure it's been really exciting. Maybe to get things started, would love to just kind of have you introduce yourself to folks. Maybe share kind of like a fun travel memory. And Ryan, maybe we'll start with you and then come to you, Drew.
Absolutely. Thank you, David. Great to see everybody today. So my name is Ryan Frisbee. I'm a partner at Viewpoint Ventures, which is the firm that Drew and I work for. I am from Pennsylvania. It's where I live currently. My wife and I have 3 kiddos. And incidentally, last month, we went on the best vacation I've ever been on in my life. My wife and I took those 3 kids to Disney, and we actually used, unsurprisingly, a travel advisor to tell us exactly what to do to find all the right characters. So this has a particularly soft spot in my heart, but it's really, really great to be here with you guys.
Love that. The Disney travel advisor is like a special type of expert. I mean, the number of details and things that they're tracking, that's
really
props.
Unbelievable.
Drew, over to you.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just so awesome to be here. I had to say, like, every now and then I do go on a webinar or two, or sort of a group. I have never seen activity in the chat like this. This is so cool. It's awesome. And like, I think when we came on, someone was like, welcome. It's the nicest group ever. So anyway, my name is Drew. I'm the managing partner, which means I founded the firm of Viewpoint. And I'll give you just sort of a couple quick thoughts on who we are and what we do and how it sort of relates to Tern. We founded the firm about 3 years ago, a little more than that, almost 4 years ago. And believe it or not, the entire purpose of the firm is to find companies like Tern. The whole idea is that we see this incredible opportunity for great companies that are entirely about powering human advice and human advisors. That's the sort of, it all comes from our understanding and belief of how valuable that is to clients. And so we've done this in a number of places. This is the only thing we do. And so we've done this in insurance, we've done this in real estate, we've done this in financial advice or wealth management. Believe it or not, we've done it in one like kinda related travel space, which is in the private jet broker market. But literally, this is the only strategy that we do. And the whole concept here is we sort of scour the earth for the best management teams and the best companies that are building for the advisor, for that human expert. We invest money, and then we just sort of let the teams keep doing what they're doing. Our whole mission is to find the best people who are providing the most value for agents, advisors, and experts, and who are providing the most value to those clients. And so from your guys' perspective, I think you'll not notice any difference. You guys will the nothing changes on who sort of owns the company or who leads the company. David and the team still call every shot, and kind of our role is just to be cheerleaders from the side. And so one other couple of quick notes is that given the mission of the entire firm, which is just to find companies that are supporting human advisors and experts. It's probably not surprising why we were so excited about Tern. But one interesting thing that we've learned doing just this, just finding companies like this, is that the companies only work if the management team, if the founders of the company like Tern truly understand the value of human advice and expertise in serving their clients. And it's a little weird, but and actually truly love the advisor. That is critical. You won't if you sort of can't fake that. And so I guess it's probably not that surprising why we were sort of in love from the minute we started talking to the Tern team, and why it was sort of an obvious fit for us, and why we were so excited. And I know one last thing, because David mentioned I was going to do it anyway, about a sort of travel experience. And we do this in, as I mentioned, a number of markets, and there are some exciting markets, and there are, candidly, some less exciting markets. And insurance is often not one of the, I don't know, most dynamic. This is why we don't get tons of commentary on the chat or whatever. It is so freaking cool that we get to do this in travel. Travel has been really important in my life, professionally, personally, and I have just incredible memories in one in particular area. Almost every other year, my family would take my sister and I, my parents would take my sister and I to a different national park in the US. And I now have two kids. I have two girls. There's a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old. They're not quite old enough to do the whole national park thing, but man, are we close. And so I've already started prepping the whole thing. We have a puzzle which maps out all the national parks, and I'm like just so excited that we get to do this in an area that is a true passion of mine. So anyway, I'm just so excited to be here.
I love that. And I'm gonna have to, for it was like one of the holidays, I got like one of those national park water bottles. Sounds like your
Yes.
puzzle, right? We like get the stickers for all the things. So I love that. That's so fun. And maybe to kind of build on the story, I mean, we first met, I remember vividly, because it kind of came up on the 1-year anniversary fairly early. I was in a Zoom call at I think it was CLIA in 2024. And it was like in the Hilton, like running over from the kind of trade show, and like had our first conversation. And for people, I know this is like maybe a little bit of version. We are going to get back to the kind of product stuff here in a minute, but like you talk to a lot of people in technology, a lot of people in kind of venture technology specifically, and it's a lot of us explaining like how amazing you put it well, Drew, like how much we love this industry and how underserved it is by technology. And from the first time we talked to Drew and Ryan, it was just like, oh yeah, no, like we get this, like we are all in. And it was so refreshing, and it's just so special to be partnering. And Drew, I know you kind of shared a little bit of the kind of thesis and like what Viewpoint is all about, which is really just like investing in these kind of advisor-led industries. Ryan, as you kind of dug into travel, I'm curious on your side, like any surprises or anything that you kind of came up with that was kind of shocking or interesting?
Yeah, they'd probably be more interesting than shocking. And I would highlight two things, the second of which will be relatively repetitive. But the first one is just how critical the role of the travel advisor is. That was our starting hypothesis, given who we are, as Drew mentioned, and the focus area that we have. But not only do advisors, everyone on this call, control a huge amount of the global travel spend, like you guys are actually responsible for actually quarterbacking where a lot of these travel dollars get spent, which is really cool. The unsurprising part is when you peel back the onion on why, it's the most obvious thing in the world. Travel is really important. It's really difficult. And I personally can't imagine doing it without an advisor. So the first one is not necessarily shocking. It's more just really interesting. The second one, this is going to be a little repetitive with what Drew said, but the second really big finding we had was just how big of a need there is for Tern and the solution it's providing. So I think if you read the chat, you'll see, you guys on this webinar know this way better than I do, so I'll keep it short, but there is a lot of disparate, not best-in-class technology, and that not only has its own problems, but none of them are holistic, best-in-class, and as Drew said, run by not just people that are really passionate about the industry and really care about advisors, but are just darn good people. And so when you combine those two things, the market opportunity and the need for Tern, it got us really, really excited, which is why we're so thrilled to be on the journey.
Well, and I think what's so special about this partnership, and we'll kind of wrap with kind of before we do the product stuff, I'll kind of close with this, but like who you partner with matters, right? In the same way,
Yeah.
like that the people listening to this, like your clients matter and the suppliers that you work with matter. Like the same thing is true for a company that's thinking about like bringing on investors. And I think you actually see this to your point around the few other players in the space that have raised venture. They've raised for more traditional ventures who maybe don't understand the role of the advisor as much. And I think that's where you see some of these like somewhat shocking moves when you really believe that this is like the most important person in this entire industry is the advisor, that you just like can't wrap your head around. But when you start to think about it, it's like, well, if you don't believe that, then you may start to make some of these decisions. So that I think is super interesting. I know we're tight on time. I wanted everybody to meet you because it does matter who backs these companies. It does matter for people to know that you're human. But before we go, Drew, Ryan, anything you want to share with folks? Anything, again, the venture is not something that we talk a lot about. It's not something that's talked about a lot of travel. Anything that you'd want to leave folks with? And maybe Drew, I'll start with you this time.
Just because I'm assuming people don't know the venture capital industry all that well. I think the key parts on it are we don't control the business in any way. We're this hopefully not too jargony. We're minority investors. We just are along for the ride. The other thing to note is that we are planning to be along for the ride for a long time. It sort of emphasizes the point on partnership and why it was so important for us to get to know you guys and understand that no, our true north is absolutely the same. Where we're going is the same. That this is the importance of the industry of travel, the importance of the advisor of travel is sort of everything. It's all about making sure their lives get easier over time with our platform. And then we're just gonna be on this journey for a really long time, which is very exciting for us.
It's like a marriage, right? It's like what people always say in tech. It's like it is like a marriage. Like
totally.
Ryan, anything on your side before we wrap?
The only thing I would add is I will actually be flying out to Salt Lake City next week for the ASTA conference. And I believe a lot of the folks on this call will be there also. So please come say hello. I am so excited to meet as many of you as possible. And I think it'll be a lot of fun. There'll be a lot of exciting things to talk about. So looking forward to it.
Amazing. Well, Drew, Ryan, a lot more to come, but I'm so glad you got to meet the community, and I'm so glad the community got to meet you. Thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to join this. It's going to be an amazing journey ahead. And so we'll kind of jump back into our regular scheduled programming here, but thank you both so much. And
thank you. We're so excited.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Perfect. All right. Last thing I will leave you with before we get to our regular scheduled programming of all the incredible product updates that we have to share with you is that our commitment to you is stronger than ever. Drew and Ryan were sort of talking about the long-term lens that they have. They're investing in this business with the expectation that this is a multi-decade journey. And when Katie, Brian, and we started this company, we did it with the expectation that this was our last first job. And Katie and I were actually, before the Asta River Cruise Conference, we're sort of joking with our spouses. We're like, honestly, it would probably be easier to get out of our actual marriage than this commitment that we've made. They didn't love that, if I'm being honest, but it's probably not wrong. And so we are here committed to all of you for the long term, and we could not be more excited to be building with each and every one of you. So with that, we have made some incredibly massive updates to the Tern platform, and so I'm so excited to hand it over to Molly to kick things off and take you through all of them.
Oh man, how are you liking this new fancy Zoom setup? So happy to be here. I'm Molly. For those of you I haven't met yet, I am the head of product at Tern, seeing so many familiar names in the chat. It's just so wonderful to have all of you here supporting us. We have so many incredible product updates to talk about today. Before we get into that, I just wanted to say a big thank you to this community. Tern gets better every single week, and it is truly because of all of you. I think it's literally daily that my mind is just blown by the amount of time you all take out of your incredibly busy lives to get on the phone with us, share your feedback, share your screens, talk through your workflows, celebrate wins with us. And we just talk all the time about how it makes Tern just the most rewarding place that we've ever worked at in our careers. So we could not be more excited to talk you through those updates today. We're going to be talking about how you can supercharge your funnel, turning leads into bookings faster than ever, and how you can create beautiful itineraries faster than you've ever been able to do before. And to kick us off for this first section, he's pretty much a celebrity at this point. I'm going to turn it over to our head of design, Brad.
No pressure, celebrity status, whatever we want to call that. That's great. All right, well, thanks, Molly. And hey, everyone, I'm Brad. I'm the head of design at Tern. Like Molly saw so many familiar names in the chat. So good to see everyone. And I'm really excited to be sharing some of the new features we've been working on to help you go from lead to booking faster than ever before. So we're going to start with the improvements we've made to forms. Forms have been a core part of Tern for years now, helping advisors easily collect new leads and traveler details. Forms create trips and contacts automatically when they're submitted, and they also allow you to easily capture an e-signature, have clients agree to your terms and conditions, and then to set up a meeting with you via an integrated scheduler. They also power our group trip sign-up flow, which allows you to collect traveler information in one streamlined experience, where you can present rich room options, upsell optional add-ons, and instantly collect credit card authorization. Even though forms were super powerful, we also had room to make improvements. For some workflows, there were too many required fields for the type of form that you wanted to optimize. And for other scenarios, there weren't enough required fields to collect all the information you needed. We were getting this feedback almost daily in our feedback tool, in Facebook and other areas, and so we invested over the past couple months to make forms both more powerful and more flexible. We introduced the ability to collect more contact information on a trip request form or a group sign-up form. Instead of being limited to a name, email, and birth date, you can now ask for a variety of information, including things like passport details, food allergies, and loyalty programs, to name a few. This allows you to collect all the information you'll need up front to cut out the back and forth that comes later and slows you down when it's time to actually make a booking. And we know just how important this is, especially when working on group trips, where you're working with hundreds of clients at a time. In addition, we also made required fields more flexible, so you can customize a little bit further which things are actually optional or required for your clients when they're filling out your forms. Whether you're planning a large group trip, selling your favorite all-inclusive, or capturing leads to plan custom FITs, you can now capture all the information you need to get your clients booked as soon as you're ready. In addition to leveling up forms to better capture leads, we've been investing in other tools that help you convert those leads into bookings. One major feedback theme we heard from you was that while you loved using Tern for credit card authorization, we still had a few gaps that didn't work quite right for your workflow. You often wanted to send off a quick invoice to collect authorization without needing to build out a full itinerary in Tern. You needed one document with a full list of itemized pricing in case of things like insurance claims. And you also had to meet specific requirements for your agency or local regulations. Based on that feedback, we launched a new feature for invoicing in Tern, and y'all have been loving it. You can generate an invoice for a trip in one click, automatically pulling in the information you need about the trip, travelers, and your business, saving you hours of manual work. And Molly stole my thunder a little bit here, but before we get into the details, I do want to just give, again, a big thank you to everyone who shared feedback with us on invoicing. This was an area where it really took some people being loud and making sure we understood where the gaps were, why this mattered for you and your business. And you really helped us craft a set of features that we're quite proud of. There were hundreds of you actually that shared your time with us, whether it was in a survey or jumping on calls to help us get this right. And we're so appreciative of all the time you spent there to help us get invoicing out the door and to be something incredible. Let's talk about how that feedback came to life. Starting with the business information and traveler details. When you generate an invoice for a trip in Tern, all of those details are automatically pulled in. Based on your feedback, we added support for credentials like seller of travel or TICO number that automatically get added along with a link to your terms and conditions for your business. And all of the contact details are automatically pulled in as well, whether you captured that info from a form like we talked about or manually added it in their contact profile. You also have the flexibility to include any additional information that you want. It's a super helpful way to make sure you're following your agency's policies or local regulations without needing to make us structure every single little thing in the form. So completely up to you. You can also set up a template in your settings to avoid having to copy and paste this in each time. If you make edits to this information on a specific trip, those will stick around for any future invoices that you create on that same trip. The part of invoicing I'm most proud of is how well our invoices handle both complex FITs in addition to simpler single booking trips. For FITs, we know your clients often have to make payments to multiple suppliers, each with their own payment schedule, their own terms and conditions, and cancellation policy. And other systems don't make this particularly easy, often requiring you to send a separate invoice for each booking if you want to include that level of detail. With Tern, it's all automatically included, so your travelers have a source of truth for what they're paying for, the terms and conditions for that item, as well as what's already been authorized or paid. You only have to send one invoice, and every payment for the trip is all in one place. Our team invested a lot of time and energy to support this complexity, while trying to keep it as simple as possible for both you and your clients. And the last thing to mention here is that invoices also include a link to authorized payment, sending your clients to our simple authorization flow designed to protect you and your business in case of a chargeback. Can't wait for David to show you just how simple this really is in his demo in a minute. But I do have one more thing. We have some more things we got to share on this journey from going from lead to booking as quickly as we can. We know your process doesn't stop with sending an invoice or collecting authorization. You've got tasks to complete, emails to send, payments to keep track of, and more. And while you could keep track of all those items already in Tern, there wasn't an easy way to see it all at a quick glance. You're often left asking, what do I need to do next for this trip? Well, today we're excited to introduce a fresh redesign that gives all of these things one home. With our redesigned trip overview, you get a true overview of your trip, covering all of your bookings and trip activity. Now you can tell at a quick glance exactly what's going on with your trip and have quick access to booking details. You can now see the latest updates on your trip, like when clients made room selections or approved an itinerary, or when an automated email was sent out, all in one place. Upcoming activity is included as well. No more worrying about when your next payment or task is due, whether you have an email scheduled to go out on the right date. This is all now visible in one spot at the top of the Overview tab. In addition, we made it easier to find booking information. You no longer have to dig through multiple screens to find important details you need, like confirmation number or booking status. It's all right there, accessible in one place. And as of this morning, thanks to one of our incredible engineers, you can just click on that confirmation number, quickly copy it, and put it into whatever tool you need outside of Tern to look up the reservation that you're looking for. We've already heard from one of our beta testers, Scott, that these updates helped him surface multiple bookings he wasn't properly tracking in Tern. We're so excited about this updated design, and we really can't wait to hear what you think. So just to recap quick, we made forms more powerful and flexible to help you collect the information you need. We introduced one-click invoicing, which connects seamlessly into our credit card authorization features. And we introduced a redesigned trip dashboard optimized to give you the most important trip information at a glance. Streamlining your core workflows like this will continue to be a focus for our product team, and we're so excited about continuing to help you save time in Tern. So with that, I'm going to hand it back over to David to bring these features to life with a live demo.
I'm back. All right, so everyone give it up for Brad in the chat. Brad, I saw at least one person say they want your autograph, so keeping the hype going. I love that. All right, I get the fun job of bringing all of this to life in a live demo. And we are going to go from lead, generated in this case from a sample website, could be your Facebook page, could be any kind of social, could be an email you sent, through to marking something as booked as fast as possible. It won't actually be as fast as possible because if I did that, nobody would have any idea all the clicks I was doing. So I'm going to talk through it at a reasonable pace and show you how efficient this can be. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and click on book a trip right here. Again, this could be your website. It could be social, anywhere that you might want to link out one of these trip request forms. And if we click on book a trip, you'll see that we sort of have this primary call to action, which is ready for adventure, start planning. As soon as we click on this, we'll the start planning, we're brought to the Tern form page where we can start to see a couple things. First of all, we have this kind of customizable look and feel. You can have your own imagery, your own framing here to help kind of people understand how they should engage with this form. We also have the kind of brand card here now updated with various credentials, whether that's seller of travel or you have different kind of provincial or state requirements, you can add those and they will show up kind of throughout the brand process. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and actually start to fill out this form. We'll say that we're looking for a summer getaway, and we're thinking about traveling sometime in August. And so again, you can customize this form. As Brad mentioned, we've added a ton of optionality for you to be able to decide what you want to collect, what's optional, what's not optional. And for the first time in a Tern form, you have the benefit of a trip request form, which is going to automatically create trips, trigger workflows. There's tremendous automation that you can do behind the scenes, but also the benefit of collecting all the data that you need about your travelers in one place. And so I can go in here and I can start to say that this is for Josie Turner. We'll go ahead and select that. And again, you can decide which what you want the fields to be required, what fields you want to show. All of that's kind of managed here. And so I'll go ahead and I'm going to use David demo at loveinasuitcase.com just as the sample email address. We'll go ahead and enter in birthday. Again, you may want the birthday, you may not want the birthday. You can decide what's required and what's optional, but all the fields that you put in here, when they're filled out, will write an update to your CRM in Tern automatically. So there's this kind of intelligence behind the scene that allows you to do that. You can even include things like loyalty programs. So if I said I'm a Delta Sky Miles member, we have these little details that add up to making it feel like a premium experience for your clients. So we can say, I'm Platinum Medallion, and this is my kind of loyalty number. And again, that's now going to be available for you with a click of a button in your CRM. Adding additional travelers is as easy as clicking on the Add Traveler button right here. And we can go ahead and agree to those terms and conditions. And we're going to keep track of that all in your CRM so that you have the paper trail of explicitly what version of your terms and conditions that traveler agreed to. You'll notice I've got the kind of ability to click on submit. So I'll click on that. And we get this nice little animation confirming that that trip request has been shared with the advisor. So let's go ahead and switch over now to the advisor view. This is where you would sort of pick up in the process. And to do that, I'm going to switch windows. And I'll go ahead and reload this. And what you'll see is that automatically, by completing that form on the left-hand side here under inbound, that summer getaway for the Turner family has automatically been created for me. So I can click in just by clicking on this card. Again, if you're not familiar with Tern, everything here is drag and drop, and you can drag things between your stages. You can customize these stages. And as you move them between stages, you can set up automated task creation, workflows, emails, all in one place as well. But let's go ahead and I'll click in on that trip that we created. This is where you'll see the beautiful new trip overview dashboard shipped at this point, maybe an hour and 40 minutes ago. So this is truly hot off the press. And you'll see that because we have these workflows set up to automatically create tasks and do things, I actually have some upcoming activity already. I need to remember to create the package, send the invoice, and mark it as booked. I may or may not have created my demo checklist as a workflow, so I remember what I need to do in this demo. We'll leave that for you to wonder. But we can also start to see past activity. Super helpful for me to understand, how was this trip created? Did I create it? Did it come through a trip request form? And if I wanted to access the trip request form, I could just click on this and I have access to those full details right within the trip itself. If I go back to the overview, you can see that the traveler has agreed to those terms and conditions. And again, we're keeping track of that versioned record for you. So when we think about kind of the paper trail and all that information, it's right there. On the top right of the new dashboard, we have these options to still access key information about the travelers. So one-click copy if we need to paste that in when we're making bookings or anything like that, making it super fast and super accessible, but really focusing on an actual overview of the trip on the trip overview page. All right, so we've got the trip automatically created based on that form. Now we just want to get approval to make a booking as fast as possible. We don't want to go through building out a full itinerary or full proposal. Like, this is just for maybe a cruise and hotel package. We just want to get approval as fast as possible so we can make the booking before we build out a full document for them. And historically, this was an area where Tern sort of struggled a little bit. It was like, okay, you're building out the whole itinerary. But now we can do this in a really, really special way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the pricing tab, and I'm going to go ahead and just click on this new item. Right in the center, so something else you'll notice, we get kind of these better empty states. I can click on new item, and I'm just going to add a package here. You could add a flight, lodging, all these different options, but for the sake of this, I'm going to add a package, and I can now start to title this package. I will say that this is our cruise and hotel getaway with Windstar, and I can say that this was going to be $15,450. And as I scroll down, I can quickly add the key payment information. So I can say, I just need this to be payment and deposit and final balance. I want the deposit amount to be $2,500, and that's due at the end of the month. And then Tern's going to automatically calculate this final balance for me. And I can say that that's going to be due at the end of July. Now, you'll notice Tern's guiding me to say, hey, let's make sure that this is ready for your client to authorize as payment. And so it's saying add the supplier details. So all I have to do is come through here and search for the supplier. Now, if your agency is using Tern, you will see your agency supplier show up automatically. So this is another thing that has really been game changing for agency owners, being able to share key supplier relationships, key details about that. And you can see how seamlessly integrated it is to the actual advisor experience. So I can click on WinStar here, and it's going to save. I'll scroll back down. It's going to save those terms and conditions for me. It's going to put in that cancellation policy. And so we are now good to go. All right, clicking back on the pricing tab, instead of having to build out that whole itinerary and do all those different things, all I have to do now is click on this little generate invoice button. So if I click on generate invoice, it's going to automatically populate those the kind of details, the additional details that Brad was talking about. So you can set these and configure them for your business under your business settings. And again, really helpful if you have different compliance requirements that you need to make sure every invoice says this or whatever it may be. Now you can have that, and you can still customize them per invoice. So if I wanted to change this on each invoice, I could do that. It's going to automatically generate that unique invoice number, and creating the invoice is as easy as clicking on create invoice, and it will automatically generate that. Now, in this case, it's going to prompt me to send an email. Tern is directly connected to my email, allows me to send and receive email right through Tern, and it will look to my clients like I sent it from my Gmail or whatever email you're using. But I can take advantage of things like templates. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to grab a template. I've got this invoice template set up, and it's going to automatically allow me to send this out. I could, of course, schedule it to go out in the future if I wanted to, but I don't. I wanted to send it right now, so I'll go ahead and click on send. I'm going to switch over here to my inbox to actually show you the client experience. But before I do that, one of the other really cool things in terms of always having a paper trail that you're not having to manage via your inbox is that that's going to automatically put those invoices in your documents tab. So for every invoice that's created within Tern, you've got that stored forever right here that you can come back and access. And so we're really proud of how that works. But let's go ahead and actually switch over. I'm going to go to my inbox here. I've got it pulled up. And you can see if I refresh, here's the Love in a Suitcase invoice that just came in. I will zoom in here so it's a little easier for folks to see. And I can go ahead and click in on this. You can see here's those details. And I've got kind of the invoice. Clicking in on the invoice shows you what it looks like. You saw Brad kind of talk through each section here. But just as a reminder, it's going to have those key contact details and brand information, your logo featured up in the top right, key details about the trip, and a unique invoice number, as well as any of those credentials that you've added to your business. And of course, your terms and conditions. So you have a record that every time you sent this invoice, they have had access to those terms and conditions. But it's not just your terms and conditions. You'll actually notice because we linked those terms and conditions on the supplier side, those are automatically being shown here with the refund policy and the breakdown. And again, we did this for a simple package, but you could do this with a 500 activity trip that spans 100 days, and it's going to automatically calculate the invoice and manage this for you. No entering individual line items that you just entered into the itinerary. It is intelligent, it's integrated, and it is so, so smart. And speaking of integration, it's also integrated with our credit card authorization flow. So if I go ahead and I click on authorize payment here, it's going to bring me up to this page. We can now start to scroll through here. If you're a Tern user, you may notice something very special in that there's actually no itinerary tab. We haven't built an itinerary. Why put an itinerary tab in there? This is just getting them the key details that they need to understand the pricing of this activity. So we can see that right now, nothing has been paid. There's a $1,500 kind of owed. And right now we need to authorize the deposit. So as a traveler, all I have to do is click on authorize payments. I get this nice breakdown. I can say, yep, we're going to put that on my platinum card that I have saved. I'm going to go ahead and e-sign this, agree to those terms and conditions. Again, when we talked about protecting your business, this is what we mean. We worked incredibly closely with travel industry legal experts to create a flow that helps protect against friendly fraud, including getting that opt-in to your terms and conditions, that's version, including that paper trail, that e-signature, authorizing this in a way that is, we think, really the best in the industry. So when I click on submit authorization, it's now going to show that traveler instantly that they've authorized $2,500, hasn't been paid yet, but it's been authorized, and that they have $2,950 or $12,950 remaining. If they wanted to authorize the rest of it, all they have to do is click on authorize payments, and they can go through the authorization process to do the whole thing. And so you can see how easy it is to go from client invoice to that without having to do kind of the steps of building an itinerary. And we'll switch back one more time to your view as a travel advisor just to show something really quickly. And that's once you've got that authorization, you go and make the booking. How do you actually log that? All you have to do is go back to the pricing tab. You can click in on this and actually start to see the details. You'll also get kind of a notification that the authorization is ready. But we can kind of click in on this activity right from here. And now we can scroll. We can say, OK, this has been authorized. It's been paid. That's all. We've now marked it as paid. Your clients will see that it has been paid. All of that is ready to go. Your future invoices will reflect that that has been paid. It is literally the click of a button. And if you needed to, you could adjust the payment date, of course. What you can also do is start to record confirmation numbers. You can record your expected commission. Again, everything in one place. And so we'll go ahead, we'll add a confirmation number here. And if I go and I now, you can click in and mark this as booked right here. It's going to go ahead. And if your agency is using Tern, that is what it takes to report a sale. Everything that they need to reconcile that supplier payment and to pay you in the future was done with that click of a button. It is truly that easy. And that's what we mean about eliminating that invisible work by bringing these layers together in a really unique way. We'll end this demo by showing the overview tab one more time. You can see how this evolves as you're working on the trip. So you can see we've got this kind of create package. Yep, we've done that. We've done the Bay payment. We've done the invoices. Perfect. We checked all the boxes. But also really cool is we can now see right on top that we have this booking. It's been booked. And with one click, we can copy the confirmation number. So if you're on the phone with a supplier, you need quick access to that. It's right there for you. Or maybe you're doing a chat support. They need the confirmation number. One tap, you're copying the booking details. This is a massive leap forward in the usability of Tern. It's such a better way to see everything that's happening with the trip. And like Brad sort of alluded to, this is just the beginning. So we have so many exciting kind of updates continuing, but hopefully that shows you how for the first time, you can invoice your clients seamlessly. You can access and understand what's happening with the trip with this new dashboard. You've got these incredible forms that allow you to collect everything about the trip and the contact in an integrated way. This, we think, is really special. So you don't have to create itineraries to get payment authorization, but what we're about to show you in this next section may leave you wanting to anyway. And so for that, I'm going to hand it over to Molly to take it from there.
Absolutely flawless transition, David. I loved that. So we are not done with the updates yet. I am so excited to talk about the second piece here, which is how you can create beautiful itineraries in an even easier way than you could previously. So as David talked about at the very beginning of the webinar, one of the main reasons advisors love Tern is how easy it is to build trips. And that's because we have a powerful AI assist that helps you import or draft itineraries in minutes. We have cruise templates that you can pull in and create a trip in just a matter of seconds. And you can save and reuse common content in your library to easily save things like activity templates and pull those in over time. But one of the most important things is that the itinerary that you're building, as easy as possible as it is to do that, you need it to translate into beautiful itineraries. And so one thing we hear over and over is how excited people are by the modern look and feel of Tern itineraries. But there was something missing. When we thought about how to really level up these itineraries, one thing that was so important when we talked to all of you was how important your unique brand was to showcase to your clients. And so a few weeks ago, we dropped kind of a special surprise feature that lets you set up a brand color, any color that you want that really represents your brand as a business. And that is then reflected in all traveler-facing experiences. So it feels a bit more like working with you. And you have really taken advantage in just a few weeks' time. So we've gotten so many cool examples of people building out their brand colors, setting them up to look so fantastic with the rest of their profile. And we actually kind of geek out internally and share screenshots of like all these beautiful colors, every color of the rainbow being set up in Tern. So really special to see that. So we talked about beautiful itineraries. Let's talk about saving you time while creating these itineraries. We estimate that AI has saved advisors over 34,000 hours. That is a wild number. And why we're so proud of that is that you shouldn't be spending that time manually entering data and copy and pasting stuff. You should be spending that time on what matters. So our AI assist lets you import content, import templates, itineraries, activities, and even create trips and activities as a starting point. But we knew that we could make it a lot better. So we focused on better preserving and formatting content and tailored personal content generation, which we'll be talking about next. All right. We started with smarter imports. One thing that we noticed when you were trying to import content, it would sometimes summarize the content and it wouldn't always add it to structured fields like rooms and flight legs in turn. The other thing is that it wouldn't necessarily format it in a way that was easy and readable to scan. And so we spent a lot of time focused on improving those imports so that you could do that and kind of fully retain the content that you're trying to bring over. Maybe you're working with a supplier or you're trying to move over from a different CRM and you don't want to manually copy and paste all of that data. The next thing that we built is I think one of my personal favorite features that we've ever built at Tern, which is destination guides. And I think that the coolest part about these destination guides is that they can be truly personalized to your travelers and to the experiences that they're going on. So if you have a traveler who really loves adventure, they're active, they want to get out there, they should get a very different destination guide than someone who's on a honeymoon and just wants to lounge by the pool. And so with our destination guides, you can give as much context as you want on the travelers, and it will instantly personalize the recommendations based on what you share with AI Assist. The other pretty neat thing, and David will demo and bring this to life, is that it knows information about the trip. And so if it knows that your travelers are going somewhere in October, it's not going to share weather all year round when they're not going. It's going to talk about the climate in October. So not only is this a better experience for your clients, it just helps you really kind of step up your game and provide that incredible experience that is personalized unlike any other system. And this is new. I'm not sure how many people have discovered this so far, but we wanted to take it one step further. So maybe you're providing all of these amazing recommendations within a destination guide, but it's a new place for your clients, right? They don't necessarily know how to get there. So if you actually ask AI Assist to include Google Maps links when it's creating the guides, it will automatically link to them in Google Maps. And again, David will demo and show you how this works. But imagine, your client wakes up, they're really excited about the spots that are recommended to them. One click, it's opening Google Maps and they can see how to navigate there. You all have created more than 7,000 destination guides. And keep in mind, this feature has been live, I think, for just a few weeks. That is a mind-blowing number of destination guides. And even cooler, the types of requests that you're providing are just, we couldn't even come up with some of these things. Like detailed public guides for public restrooms is like the most creative, coolest prompt I've ever heard. Someone shared that in the Facebook community. And it's so brilliant, right? Because the first thing you want to know when you're walking around a foreign destination that might not have good public restrooms is like, help me, how do I get around? And so it's just been so incredible to see the types of things that you're asking for and prompting for. And we're learning from you about what you want from this feature. And one thing in particular really stood out to us. We saw a lot of people who were using destination guides for packing lists. And we thought, I think we can do better. I think we can make this easier. So as of about an hour ago, we introduced AI packing lists. Now, just like destination guides, you can say anything you want about your clients, about the trip, anything you think the context will be helpful to craft this really tailored packing list. And it will instantly generate the packing list for your clients and you can add it to your trip. So we are so excited. We're hoping, it takes off just like destination guides. We can't wait to see how you start to use this, but it's especially tailored to this use case. So it should work a lot better than destination guides did for it. Okay, I'm not quite done. I'm going to try to use the David drama. We have one more thing to introduce. you all have a lot of content. You love your library, right? We have over 100,000 activity templates in Tern today alone. But with all that content, you really told us that you needed tools to organize. And so we're introducing folders for your library. You can create folders today in activity templates. You can name the folders anything you want. You can add as many folders as you want. And you can bulk move items with just a few clicks into those folders. So that's what's available today. If you go into the product, you'll see it in your activity templates right now as we speak. It's under the new dropdown. And what's coming very, very soon? Well, we're introducing the ability to share folders with your team. So no more going and individually sharing the items with your agency or communities that you've created. You can just put them all into a folder and share that top level folder with your full team or whoever you want to share it with. So it's going to be a huge upgrade for individuals, communities, and agencies. We are also adding support over the coming weeks for every item type. So like I said, today it's available within activity templates. This will be added to itineraries, forms, emails, tasks, automations, and workflows. And you know us, we move fast. You'll see this before you know it. So we are so excited about this. It's been a long-awaited feature, and we cannot wait to see all of the folders that you create. So what did I talk about today? Brand new feature, library folders, custom branding, highlighting all of your unique brands, and AI importing and content generation. So excited to turn it back over to David to demo what all of this looks like.
Wow, I'm just like looking at the chat, very distracted. And I mean, folders are pretty hype. And so I think that we should probably start the demo there. So we will kind of get started here and maybe try and zoom in a little bit more. I know folks are kind of different zoom resolutions, maybe a little harder to see. But what we'll do is we'll start off in the library. So again, I'm logged into Tern as an advisor, and I'm going to go ahead and click on the library tab here. And you can see that when I come to the activities tab, I have a couple folders that I've already created. I've got a folder with some highlights and things that I like to do in Rome. I'm going to actually go ahead and add a hotel there in a minute. But in the spirit of cleaning up my library, I have kind of all these other things that I need to sort. So I'm just going to select all these and move these into my miscellaneous folder by clicking on the bottom toolbar at the bottom and then clicking on MISC, moving them in there. And wow, doesn't that look cleaner? You can really start to organize your library in a way that makes sense for you. If you wanted to create a new folder, it's as easy as clicking on new in the top right and clicking on folder here. You can start to move things into that. We think this will be a massive leap forward for those people that have lots of library items or agency owners who are actually starting to share their content, this kind of business in a box concept, being able to organize everything and make it really easy for their advisors to understand where to go what. So super excited, super proud of the team for kind of building this out. We think this is going to be really exciting. So let's go ahead and click in our Rome folder here, and we'll actually start to add something. We're going to demonstrate how we can use some of the AI advancements that we've created to quickly add a library item. And then we'll actually switch over and we'll show you how we can go from a brand new trip to an itinerary that is stunning and uses some of these new AI features like destination guides and packing lists in a very short amount of time. But before we get there, let's add that library item. So again, I opened up that folder. You can see on the breadcrumbs in the top kind of left here that there is templates. We're in the folder of Rome. And so now when I create that new item, we'll add the St. Regis Hotel in Rome. We'll go ahead and search that. Now, of course, I could use the hotel guide or the kind of built-in hotel database here if I wanted to, but I actually have this library item that I took from a legacy system that I'm kind of transitioning over to Tern from. And so we kind of could go ahead and I can just literally copy this in, and I will go over to the lodging and I will paste that in. You'll notice it's bringing over kind of the detail and the images. And all I have to do now in the AI assist box is click on assist. And you'll see how much better this is. Historically, the AI would kind of rip out all the formatting, put everything into a massive paragraph that had no structure or format. It was a little overwhelming and hard to read. But we were able to coax the AI into actually maintaining that format. And so now you'll see that it's maintaining the heading, it's understanding kind of how to structure this, it's bringing in that media, and it's even starting to identify the different rooms that it was talked about in your content. So we think about that migration, we think about taking content from lots of different sources and getting it into Tern as quickly as possible. We're really excited about the advancements here, and we have so many more updates coming on the AI side of things. So just it's going to be really, really special to continue to build on this. But I'll go ahead and add that to my library just by clicking on add, and you'll see that it now populates kind of these details. And so I'll go ahead and save and close that, and it's now in my Roam folder ready for us to use. So you can see how AI makes it really fast, really easy to have beautifully designed and beautifully curated content in your library ready to use over and over again. And we're really excited about that. So folders, AI, it's a good day for in library land, we'll say. But let's move over to planning world. So we'll click on the trips here, and we're going to go to the top right, and we're going to click on new trip. So we saw at the beginning of the webinar, earlier in the webinar, how you have trips created from a form automatically for you. Of course, you can also create trips manually by going up to the top right, clicking on new trip, and entering in the details here. So we'll say that this is a escape to the Med, and we're going to be planning a couple days in Rome and a Mediterranean cruise on Royal Caribbean. So we're going to just call this Escape to the Med. We'll say that the clients are planning to travel in October, specifically October 10th through October 19th. And we could go ahead and create that trip. Now, again, automatically, my tasks that I have set up to be applied anytime I create a new trip are showing up. So we can see this upcoming activity that we have. But because the travelers didn't fill out the forms, we need to add the traveler here. So we can go ahead and we can add the traveler. And again, we'll use our old reliable Philip Turner here and add them to the trip. And again, you've got all the details one click away for easy booking access. To start to build the itinerary, what we'll do is we'll click on the itinerary tab over on the left-hand side. And if you're not familiar with Tern, this is the kind of board-based planning view where you can start to lay out your itinerary in the way that makes the most sense. And you can toggle between this. We know some people like more of a horizontal view, some people like a vertical view. It's up to you on how you want to structure this. Throughout Tern, you've got this optionality. But we'll do two quick things. The first thing we'll do is we'll add a cruise. Like we said, this is a Royal Caribbean cruise happening in the Med that we want to kind of put these clients on. So I'll just drag this cruise library over, let go of it, and Tern's going to automatically bring up the cruise database. Every single day, we're syncing over almost 50,000 cruise itineraries across almost 60 different cruise lines. So if you're selling a cruise, it is most likely in Tern. And we could start to search here. We've made improvements to this search that we can actually search by supplier. It's automatically filtered down by the dates. We could also search by ship name or by the cruise name right from this search box. But we also have these more structured fields. So if I said that I wanted to find cruises that were going through the port of Rome, we could go ahead and filter down to those cruises. And of course, now I'm like, oh, there's actually more than I thought. I could just type in Royal, and we're now going to get the list of Royal Caribbean cruises going to Rome on these dates. There is one. That's what we'll add to our itinerary. And again, we can add it to our itinerary just by clicking on Add to Itinerary. And this is now going to update the itinerary for us. So as you can see, we're going to have a couple days in Rome ahead of time. And so let's use that activity item that we created just a few minutes ago to populate the first kind of 2 days that they'll be staying there. So to add an item from one of your folders, all you have to do is drag this activity library item over to the day that you want to put that activity on, let go of it, and you'll see the folders right there. We updated this kind of entire experience to allow you to start to browse and experience these folders. I can click in Rome, and I can go ahead and access that St. Regis in Rome that we added by clicking on Add to Trip. As you can see, it's now there. It's ready to go. We've got the media, and everything from that library item is ready for us to start to share with our clients. Of course, if we wanted to go in and update pricing or commission, those types of things we could. But now let's start to play with some of the new features that Molly talked about in terms of creating personalized destination guides for our clients. And so this is where on the kind of top toolbar here, you'll see that we have this AI, under AI Assist, we have this new draft destination guide. This is one of a couple different ways that you can actually start this process. But I'll go ahead and click on this box. And it's now going to bring me here to this kind of information block where I can confirm I do indeed want to do a destination guide. And from here, I can actually start to bring in that data. And we'll go ahead and, oops, paste the wrong thing. We'll say that we want to create a guide for cruise passengers arriving in Rome, include gelato spots, lesser known. They have a severe gluten intolerance, but are big foodies. And so we'll go ahead and add this, and we'll make sure that they suggest some places they may want to eat. So again, you can share a little bit as much as you want about your clients. If you kind of include some of those core things, it'll make this more personalized. And so we'll go ahead and submit that. Now, while this process is, we've been asked about destination guides for a long time. People are like, oh, I'm used to having this sort of off-the-shelf destination guide. Will you integrate with ABC company? And in the age of AI, we just, as Molly said, like kind of felt like giving somebody a destination guide who's traveling to Rome in October that says the best time to visit Rome is in the spring sort of just doesn't feel very good, right? Or sending me a destination guide who's not a big shopper to say, oh, like, here's all the shopping that you could do in Rome. I'm like, I want to know, like, what hikes? How can I get out? How can I start to explore, right? So in the world of AI, we can start to give AI key details, things like when are they traveling, which you'll notice we did not put in the prompt, but Tern took care of making sure it shares that context so that when you talk about the climate and the season, it's not saying the best time to go is in March. It's saying October is a beautiful time to be visiting, automatically personalizing it to your experience. Of course, you can scroll down. You're going to get some of the key pieces, right? But where it also starts to shine is that for gluten-free foodies, Rome offers a delightful culinary landscape. My wife is actually gluten-free. When we went to Rome, we ate at a lot of these places. And Mama Eats, I can say, is one of the best places we went. How cool to be able to automatically surface this information for your clients. So you can see all this information, and we can start to add this to our itinerary by clicking on Add. But before we do that, I'm excited to bring back to the stage Molly to help us maybe improve this a little bit. Molly actually has 2 jobs at Tern. She's going to be acting in the capacity right now is prompt engineer, senior prompt engineer, I think, actually. So Molly, welcome back in your prompt engineering capacity.
Thank you. It's actually the title I prefer. So I appreciate the intro, David. Thank you.
All right. So we've got a decent guide here, I'd say, Molly. But like what tips might you have to kind of make this maybe just a little bit better?
Well, and it's cool because I saw in the chat, people are like, I need a class on this. So this is your 2-minute class. So I think people were really excited about the Google Maps links. So I think we should start there.
All right.
Let's update our prompt to maybe share where their hotel is and ask for spots nearby. So let's start there.
All right. Perfect. So let me go, and we've got just a little bit here. So I basically have the same kind of prompt I'm putting in here. Passenger or create a guide for cruise passengers arriving in Rome, include gelato spots off the beaten path. They are foodies, but have gluten intolerance, suggest great places to eat. And then you're saying put in the give Google Map walking direction links and include the details. Is this kind of what you're saying?
Beautiful. Well, let's see. I mean, a lot of times this will work well with AI. You never know. So we're going to have to see live in front of thousands of people if this will work. Let's do it.
Let's roll the dice. So we'll click on that and it'll work. And this is something, I think this kind of iteration is something we really encourage, right? Is like making sure that if it's not exactly what we want, like you can try again. And Molly, you sort of share the tip of, at least for now, kind of saving that prompt off. You want to share a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so I recommend kind of copying the prompt when you paste it in and saving it so that if it's not quite what you want, you can tweak it and then resubmit it quite easily. In the future, we're going to let you chat with AI to do that without having to remember to copy. But for now, that's a good workaround. So let's see, fingers crossed, if this worked.
All right, so we just typed in that prompt, and specifically in the prompt, what we did was we asked for Google Maps links from the St. Regis Hotel to restaurants nearby that would fit that gluten intolerance. So you can see we have actually this pretty same, I think the same list of restaurants that came up, but now we have this Google Map link. And so what we can start to do, and you can kind of hover over those, you can see those, we can now start to click in on them, and it'll bring us right to that kind of location here where we can start to see where they are. And again, if you are on your phone, you can imagine tap directions, it's going to route you there kind of automatically. So those are kind of automatically brought in. You could do the same thing with Mama Eat. You've got these directions kind of automatically brought in. Now, Molly, would you suggest kind of blindly trusting these links or double checking them? Like what's kind of the rec there?
Thanks, David. No, I would always double check them with anything with AI. You definitely want to double check the accuracy, but it just saves you a lot of clicks, a lot of copy and pasting. You're in review mode instead of having to like figure everything out yourself.
Amazing. Anything else on the destination guide that we should think about before we move on to the next piece?
Yes, that I think we need a packing list. I just think we have to show that next.
I think so. So we'll add that to this itinerary. We'll go back, and now we've got this kind of amazing kind of Rome guide. Let's draft that packing list. So we'll just click on that packing list, confirm we want a packing list here. And then Molly, describe kind of what we should put in the prompt here.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe let's include the same information that they're severely gluten intolerant. Like that's important for them to know. I would also say like they're going on a cruise and they're starting in Rome, just so it has all of that context in order to provide good recommendations. And look at that, you do have it copied.
There we go. Copying work this time. We're doing a little copy and paste magic here, but staying there for a few days, going on a cruise. They're celiac, can't eat gluten, and they're doing about a walking tours, like more relaxing time in the pool. All looks good. Let's go ahead and submit and see what it comes back with. And again, kind of behind the scenes, Tern is sharing some key things like the time of year they're going and some of these details so that you don't have to think of everything, but that again, some of those key things, like Molly said, that you may want to add that will impact it are going to be really helpful. All right. So here we are. We've got kind of a breakdown. Molly, you want to kind of like talk through kind of what you're seeing, anything you want to call out here?
Yeah, well, I mean, this one's cool. This is a cool example we wanted to highlight because it's talking about bringing gluten-free dining cards, which is something they really may not think in Italian to help communicate their dietary needs. That's pretty cool. And if you keep scrolling down, you'll notice gluten-free snacks and other personal touches to really make the most of the information that you've provided.
So cool. And again, like this is pretty comprehensive. And there's another kind of cool example of just the personalization of these packing lists, Molly, that you had. Do you want to kind of share that and we can add this one?
Thank you. I already forgot. No, our incredible product lead, Jade, was playing around with this. And the coolest example she shared was clients were going on a silent retreat. And so we normally in the packing list, there's a standard like electronics section, but it completely left that out, knowing that it was a silent retreat, and actually reiterated not to bring those types of things because it was a silent retreat and they were banned. So just incredible to be able to see the type of context it's able to take in and then the output that it provides.
Wow. So cool. Well, we are going to go ahead and wrap up this section. We're already a little bit behind schedule. We're going to wrap up here just by showing that itinerary. And so if we copy that, you'll see that we have this kind of beautiful itinerary pulling in the cruise details. And look at that, the same coral branding that you saw on the website, using that personalized view. We can scroll down. We've got beautiful packing lists. We've got all this information in one beautiful itinerary. So super excited about that. Again, folders, custom branding, AI import, all in one place. This is really, really exciting. And Molly, I'm going to hand it over to you to kind of wrap up this section.
Yes. Well, one thing that we say a lot is that all of the big features in the world don't matter if we don't get the details right. And so every single week we are shipping multiple quality of life improvements. Again, thank you to your feedback surfacing these things. If it's quick, we try to fit it in, possibly can. And so these are just kind of a handful of the things we've shipped in just the 10 weeks since the last webinar. So today we talked about turning leads into bookings faster than ever. We talked about creating incredibly beautiful itineraries faster than ever before. But we are just getting started. I know we say that a lot, but it's just so true. We have so many more things in store. It's been 10 weeks since our last webinar, and we just talked about all of the updates we made in that time. So give us 10 more weeks, and we are so excited to show you what's coming soon. Occupancy rates and variable date ranges for group sign up. Our editor upgrade is already in progress and rolling out to various features. We'll definitely be able to showcase all of those improvements in the next webinar that we host. We're making it easier to set up households through contact relationships, better access form responses where you need them from the trips and contacts, tons of client-side optimizations. We want continuous improvement on mobile web for clients and advisors coming after that, and a more streamlined credit card authorization flow. And then, yes, you are reading this right, home dashboard and global search also coming in the coming months. So we are so incredibly excited. These are just a handful of highlights to share with more in store. The final thing I'll leave you with is that we truly believe technology is nothing without the right people and the right partners. So to introduce a special guest, I'm so excited to welcome Katie to the stage.
Hi, guys. It wasn't just that little tiny cameo. I actually, I get to spend the next 5 minutes with you, which I'm so excited about. We're going to keep the hype train going. I'm so excited to see everybody. For those that don't know me, I'm Katie, co-founder and COO here at Tern. It is true. I mean, every one of our webinars are so much fun, but this is such a delight. It's so great to be here. I get the privilege of spending the next 5 minutes talking about something that I think about every single day, which is partnerships. And to Molly's point, technology and more specifically, technology in this industry is absolutely nothing without the right people and the right partners. And second to none, and kind of the examples there are the value and the incredible amount of value that the consortia layer offers to the travel ecosystem. And so I am unbelievably excited to be introducing the very first consortia partnership. But it would be totally and entirely unjustified for me to make this announcement alone. So I need to bring up my guest star, Enid Simbursky, the Technology Integration Manager from Signature Travel Network. Hi, Enid.
Hello, I am so excited to be here. It's like a party in the chat. This is so cool.
No, it's literally a party. I know. We like try to prime people for that, but you really can't until you experience it yourself.
It's amazing. Yeah. I love it.
No,
I'm so excited. Thank you for
having me.
It's so much fun.
Thank you for being here. Well, we're so happy you're here. Would love for you to kick us off with just a brief intro of yourself and a brief intro of Signature.
Yes, absolutely. So I've been here at Signature for about 12 years now. My role here is the technology integration manager. And so I work with members and partners to help build integrations between our two systems. And for those of you that are maybe new to industry, Signature Travel Network is a member-owned cooperative of agencies. Essentially, we work for our members. We exist because of our members. And our primary focus is to help drive sales and promote agency brands through our innovative tech tools, our marketing services, and of course, maintaining strong relationships with our preferred partners. So we're very excited to be partnering with Tern.
So excited. Thank you so much for that overview. Super helpful. For those that are watching the screen, we do have a kind of live running GIF of what this integration looks like, and we just couldn't be more excited. Enid, I'd love to hear from your vantage point. What are you most excited about with this partnership?
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, Signature is very selective about when it comes to partnerships, honestly. So I think that partnering with Tern is going to be a huge benefit for our members that are seeking better workflows, maybe a little more modernization and automations to help manage their businesses. So I had the pleasure of working with Jade, Molly, Brad, and Zach, and they've been a dream to work with, honestly. We have a lot of requirements for the integration and for it to run flawlessly. So I gave them all the requirements. They simplified everything. They automated a lot of them. So they're not putting that burden on the advisors to do. And so as you'll probably see soon, the beautiful interface, it's all very intuitive and it's easy to set up. So it's great.
I love that. Thank you so much. Yeah, totally agree. The UX here is just incredible, and we think will be fundamentally game changing for how people interact with this integration. Okay, a couple more questions for you. This is decently unscripted, but would love to hear how the integration has gone from your perspective.
Honestly, like I said, it's been a dream. Your team is extremely fast and very detail oriented, and testing is going really great. And so we definitely don't want to roll it out until it is flawless and perfect. And we are nearly there, honestly. So it has gone awesomely.
So exciting. Thank you so much. Truly, like, co-announcing this with you and the incredible team on both sides that have brought this to life. We are so excited. Thank you, Enid, for everything to make this become a reality. We so appreciate you.
We are thrilled.
Awesome. Thanks so much. All right, switching gears just a little bit, I would love to talk about, we are kind of in the midst of bringing the next wave of agency partners onto Tern, and I want to talk about the ways in which we are supporting you and enabling you to make that decision effectively. We've continued to very intimately understand the need for migration support, right? Supporting you as the agency owner, supporting your advisors, and the process for bringing your folks and your data into Tern can feel really daunting. So as part of kind of bringing this next wave, if you reach out to the Tern partnerships team by June 15th, we are offering unique agency discounts and access to our implementation specials. And what I really mean by that is we want to help you successfully migrate your data over to Tern. It is, it crushes my soul a little bit every day when I talk to agency owners and they're like, I know Tern is the right system, but I'm so scared of going into all 6 different systems I'm using and thinking about bringing that data over to Tern. And I cannot, in good conscience, let that be the reason that you do not move over to Tern. So please let us carry that burden. Let us help you out. Let us guide you through that process. So again, if you reach out to us, to the Tern partnerships team by June 15th, you can obviously feel free to email me directly and I will get you to the right person for that. We want you to have access to these discounts and implementation specials so that we can get you started on the right foot and in Tern for the long haul.
All right. Thank you, Katie. Wow. I don't know. This is like action packed. I think we may need to have webinars every 5 weeks just so that it's a little bit lighter because we have covered so much and we're running behind. So we're going to really compress the recap. But we've talked about a lot. I saw a lot of people in the chat asking about recordings. Yes, it will be sent out. We're actually, it will also be on our YouTube channel as well. So all of that is going to be shared. One thing I want to leave everyone with is like, we are so committed to building for you and for this industry. I feel just incredibly grateful that we get to wake up every single day and work with such an incredible team in such an incredible industry. So thank you for letting us do that and for being a part of our journey. It is so, so special. We're excited to do that better and faster than ever with these new resources and new partners that we have. We're so excited to have you use invoicing, AI, branding, everything that we've kind of walked through today. It is designed to help you supercharge your business. We hope you love the kind of surprises like folders and dashboards, and of course, a little bit of a glimpse of what's coming next. We're doubling our R&D team. We're leveling up our support with weekend support coming later this year. We've doubled referral bonuses. We've taken a massive amount off the kind of conference. And again, this is all just trying to show that you are at the center of what we are doing here. And we wake up every day thinking about how we can grow your business. I saw lots of people in the chat saying like, yo, I want to try Tern. I got to give it another shot. So 2 big pieces of news. One, if you are interested in signing up for Tern for the first time, use the code May 15th on the checkout screen. So the last screen, when you're entering your credit card details, you'll get $49 off, which is good for either a free month or a very, very, I would say, great annual plan. If you look at it monthly, I think it brings it down to something like $30 a month if you apply that to an annual plan. This expires on May 31st, so take advantage of it quickly. And the last thing is if you're on this, you're like, oh, I saw a couple of people in the chat be like, I tried Tern a year ago. A lot has changed. A lot has changed. A lot changes at Tern every week, basically. So we are excited. And this is a shout out to Andrew, who had this idea kind of late last night. We've reset free trials. So if you've ever tried Tern and you're not currently a user, you can try it again for free for 2 weeks. And you can combine that with the May 15th code. So you can actually get 45 days to kind of go in, experiment with Tern and see, because we are shipping product incredibly quickly. We're the only platform out there every single week making it better based on your feedback. So thank you. Again, our commitment to you is stronger than ever. Nothing that we've shared today changes that. If anything, it is hopefully clear how all in we are on building for this industry. And so we are grateful for each and every one of you. If you're going to be at ASTA, please let us know. We're going to have a trade show booth. We're hosting an event on Wednesday nights that we'd love everybody to come to. It's going to be an open event, and we'll have the details about that on the kind of website and our community. So come find us at the trade show booth. If you don't know the details of the event, we will have cards that we can give you. We would love to spend time with you there. We're having Ryan. So grateful that he's flying in to spend time with the space as well. So we're looking forward to that. Katie's going to love that it paused on this photo. But the last thing that we have is some giveaways. So we have a couple giveaways here. We have a kind of referral giveaway for a cruise cabin, a free cabin on our users conference. And we have 3 annual plans that Katie's going to come on and announce really quickly. And then we'll wrap. We'll give folks their evening back. So the kind of reminder, our users conference is September 10th through the 16th. We think this is going to be one of the best ways for folks to level up their business. Again, I saw people in the chat were like, wow, like, I really need some support. If this is something that you can do, we think it's going to be the best way to learn and to level up your business. It's going to be very workshop heavy. We're going to have fun, but it's not a vacation. We know that this is an investment and we will commit to making this worthwhile. So if you're interested, you can go to our website, click on conference, and you can access it there. But somebody here is going to get a free conference cabin based on the kind of link sharing. So here is the wheel. We did pre-spin this, but it wasn't an authentic spin. And so this is the wheel we did for all the referral codes. And it may be a little jerky on this, but we're going to do this anyway, just so everyone knows it was a legit spin. And this referral code that's going to show belonged to Kelly Sika from Lux Voyage Travel. So Kelly, hopefully you're on. You did not have to be present to win this one, but woo, Kelly, you're on. And I think we've got a scene. We're going to bring back Molly and Brad to kind of celebrate here the rest of the folks, because we've got 3 annual plans to give away. So Katie, do you have the lucky winners?
I sure do. Do I get like a drum roll sound effect?
I think so.
you,
Yeah,
or-
I think that I don't know that you'll be able to hear the drum roll, but like maybe
Okay.
an imaginary
Okay,
drum
but
roll.
just mentally, everybody is there. Okay.
Everyone drumming in the chat,
That's what
maybe.
we're all hearing. Okay, good.
There we go. Yeah.
Our first winner is Deborah
Oh.
Gardner.
Woo!
Deborah, can we get a what in the chat?
Yay!
David,
Congratulations,
bringing the hype. Woo.
I'm trying. I know the woo high. I realize I may have deafened a lot of people.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay. Wait, did I see Deborah? Yes. Okay. Yay. Okay, good. All right. Amazing. Yes, you do have to be present to win. So this is an important detail. Okay, Deborah, congrats. All right. Winner number 2. Drum roll. Yvonne Orlando from Denville Travel.
Yay!
Congrats, Yvonne. I'm assuming you're still here, Troy. I had just checked, so I think you are.
And that's why for
Amazing.
we didn't do the spin. In the past, we've done the spins, and it's like, oh, if that person's not here, then it's like kind of a whole thing. And we knew we were gonna be tight on time. So that's why we're doing it this way. But it was a legit spin before. We did spin behind the scenes.
And also, to be fair, these spins are like killing our operating systems. There's
Yeah.
too many people on these at this point. So we do have to take that part of the experience offline. All right, congrats, Yvonne. All right, winner number 3, we have Jermaine Lobaugh.
Yay!
Congrats, Jermaine.
Congratulations!
Those are our 3 winners. Congrats.
All right. Thank you all so much for spending your Thursday evening with us. We appreciate you. We're grateful for this community, and we're going to get back to building so that when we have the next webinar, we have just as much to share with you. So thank you so much. We'll see you in the next one.
Thank you guys for being here.